Hi. Okay. So, last blog was right before the special began, and well, now it's over. We're done. I can't feel my body, and what I can feel is pain. My arms, my hips, my neck, my legs, my butt, my sides, my abs, my feet. My head doesn't hurt, but everything else hurts. Um, Where to begin? Well, first off, if you are a college athlete or in high school and plan on ever coming to this camp, do not watch this video. I don't want to ruin it for you. Like, this is a huge spoiler for the whole entire camp, and it's not worth watching this video for. Because this special was intense. Started at 5:30. Um, I'm going to try to sum it up as much as I can because I talked to my mom about it, and it took me an hour and 15 minutes to explain it to her. And to tell her everything. So I'll try to sum it up. We started at 5:30 with our special teams. The first thing we did was play ultimate frisbee, which I have never played. I don't even know how to throw a frisbee. So my team won the first game against Mary Kate's. Wait, right? It was against you, right? My first game. Yeah, we won our first game against Mary Kate, and that was the only game we won. And it was raining. We were outside and it was raining. And you had to run from station to station. There were 10 stations and 20 teams. And you had to run from station to station. Oh, the games were 5 minutes long. And they would like blow a horn whenever they wanted us to switch. And then you had to report. If you won, you had to report to the tent and tell them because they were keeping score. Because the winning team would get the most sleep is basically what the deal was. And obviously the losing team would get the least. And they after a couple of rounds of playing frisbee, they were like, you guys aren't intense enough. Like you're not giving it your all. So they made us run from where the tent was to the other side of the field and back, holding hands with our team. Oh my gosh, my team got second and it was so crazy. We were just so tired. What we did was run. We played frisbee and ran. We were already tired and it was the first hour. And then after ultimate frisbee, what did we play? I have no idea what sport came after ultimate frisbee. Tug of war. We did tug of war, and that was really hard. That was really hard. My team won the first one and lost the rest. These rounds went really quick because literally you held on, you pulled, whichever team won. Next round, the rounds went by really quickly, but we did a lot of them. And we had 5 minutes in between frisbee and tug of war. And then after tug of war, I think we did swimming. Either half the people went to swimming, half the people went to basketball, and then it switched. And I didn't swim. I did abs and stuff, obviously, because I can swim, but I'm not the greatest swimmer ever. If anybody that knows me knows that. And I was already tired. They're just don't risk it. If you don't think you're that great and you're already tired, don't risk going in there and drowning. So instead, I did abs and lunges and jumping jacks and all this other stuff really intensely for quickly while they were in the pool, and then when they stopped, I would stop. I'm losing my voice. And the whole time we're trying to cheer each other. The leaders are cheering us on. The team itself, we're all cheering each other on. Using scripture, using the chants we learned, the Ayo, and someone would say one or God is good all the time. Someone would be all the time God is good, stuff like that. And then after we swam first, and then after swimming, we did basketball. By the time I got to basketball, my body was done. I was shot. I had a granola bar before tug of war, but my body, by the time I got to basketball, I was I can't, I have no energy to do this. So we played a couple rounds of basketball, and of course, most of basketball is running back and forth, so it wasn't that bad. And I made a couple shots. Felt pretty good. We won the first game, lost the rest. I don't know what it was about the first game, but we always won the first game and then lost the rest. And then that one, yeah, that was pretty tough. And halfway through, they stopped us, and Luke, one of the main speakers, talked and kind of a motivational thing, and then we went back and did finish the rest of the games. I was really down on basketball. I didn't know what to do. I didn't understand how to like, we're supposed to be, all the 5 principles we learned, we're supposed to be putting into, like, the special, like, we're supposed to incorporate them. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't understand. I was, like, I'm exhausted. I don't want to be blamed. I don't want to play basketball when I'm tired. Like, I play basketball for fun, but now when I'm exhausted, I don't know how to, like, I feel like I'm letting my team down because I feel like I'm giving up, but I was trying my best, but it was still, I felt like it wasn't measuring up. So, I don't know, I was really down, and we got to one of the basketball stations we were at. Um, my leader was there, Elizabeth was there, and she's just like, "Hey, you doing all right?" And I was like, "Tired." She's like, "You're," like, she's like talking to me about it. She's like, "You're okay." Like, she's like, threw some scripture on me that I needed. I think she might have actually prayed with me. I don't remember. And it's basically like try to motivate me. And I tried so hard to be like, okay, like, here we go. Like, I'm fine. Like, it's good. God's got me. I'm okay. But I couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't know how to do that. So then after basketball, we were supposed to be done. Like, it was supposed to be over. According to our schedule. No, that's not true. No. We did sprints. After that, we did, like, you're supposed to go, it was a relay. And we were inside the gym. And they went from, like, you would run, one person would go at a time. You would run from one side to the other. And you would do push-ups. And you could only do a max of 10. And you had to run back, tag another person on a team. And they would go and do the same thing. And we would do that for, like, an unknown amount of time. Like, we didn't know how long it was going to be for. And your goal was to get the most you can, like the most push-ups as a team as possible. So you weren't really competing, like you weren't racing with anybody. You were just trying as a team to get the most number of push-ups possible. So our strategy was the weak girls would, like, basically the girls would do as many as they could fast, like as fast as you could. And whenever you felt yourself slowing down, get up and sprint back. And then the guys would do 10. And they would come back, like, as fast as they could. And they would come back and let us do them. And then that was, like, our technique so that the boys could get in the most as possible. Because obviously 10 is nothing for them. I averaged about 6. I felt good. It was hard. My arms were getting tired by the end. And then the sprinting part was easy for me. Like, getting over there and back was easy. I mean, not easy, but it's something I know how to do. So then after that, that was supposed to be done. So they gathered us together. Like, Teg, our speaker, talked for a little bit. And he's like, we're not done. And I was like, of course not. So we went to the other gym and did sprints. Like, literally sprints. Like, from one, we started, like, you go 1 and back, and then we did 2 and back, then 3 and back, and then we just kept doing that over and over again for, like, we didn't know how long we were going to do it for. And I was exhausted, okay? Like, time out. After basketball, before we did those push-ups, I ate because I was, like, our team was, like, handing out food or whatever. My team, like, we were distributing food, and I was like, well, I might as well eat something. Like, we don't really have dinner. So I ate a lot. I had, like, 3 bars and, like, trail mix and something or other. And it, like, automatically gave me energy. So I realized that, like, not only was I down on myself because I didn't really know how to incorporate all these rules into this special, but I also was hungry. I didn't even know. So I had no energy. So that helped a lot. So we went and did sprints. And I was good at that. Like, I was doing really well compared to everyone else. Like, I was helping my team out a lot with my speed. And I knew how to keep going even though I was exhausted. Like, that's what I do for fun every single day. So that was, I don't know, it was easy to worship God there. Like, it was easy for me to be like, all right, thank you, God, for giving me, like, the energy to keep going because I do that all the time. So we finished that, and then they're like, we're not done. And I was like, of course we're not done. There's more. My body can't do anything, but there's more. So they're like, you guys are going to do planks. I was like, oh, I can do planks for 5 minutes. We had to do a plank for 5 minutes. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever felt so much pain in my entire life. I don't think I've ever sweat so much sitting in one place in my entire life. Like, I could feel my sweat going into my eyes and burning. I held myself up for quite a while. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 minutes and something seconds whenever I, like, dropped because my body literally could not hold itself up. But, like, you dropped and you had to get right back up. So, like, you're in anguish and in pain. Like, oh my gosh, like, it was awful. Like, that was the first time the entire camp that I was like, God, because, like, as we're doing this, we're, like, holding our planks in the gym, and, like, the leaders are coming around, like, praying for us and, like, yelling scripture at us and just being like, he died on a cross for you. Like, they're just, like, going through and they're like, this is nothing. You're going through nothing right now. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, okay, like, yeah, this is nothing. So then, I, like, whenever I fell, I just got back up. Like, I think it was the first time, like, my hip flexors were hurting, my arms were hurting, my abs were hurting, my back was hurting. Like, everything was in pain. Like, it was awful, and it was all at the same time, and I was sweating so bad, and that was the first time I was like, he didn't give up on me, so why am I giving up? Like, why am I dropping right now? So I would try to hold it as much as I could until my body literally just gave up. So we got done with that, and I don't know that I've ever been so exhausted and physically in pain in my entire life. So we went back to the gym, and kind of like they would ask us like what we thought, reflect like out loud. We're just being like voicing our opinions, and it was awesome to hear people's like reactions to things and how people were changing as they went through the special. And then after that, he's like, all right, they announced like what teams. Okay, the last team had to leave at 4:30 in the like their next challenge, their obstacle course would start at 4:30. So you had to be there like 10 minutes early, 10, 15 minutes earlier. So basically 4:15. And then every team that got better, like every team from there on got to leave 5 minutes after. So like the team that was in second to last place would leave at 4:35, like that. And it just went on. And the last team, the winning team, left at 6:05 because there was 20 teams. So they announced it, and of course my team was in last. Yay! But it wasn't even bad. Like I love my team. Like we were having so much fun the entire time, and we tried our best with what we could. And the other teams were just stacked. Like some teams just had really good people in them. We were all like really tiny people in my team. So and everything we did the first couple hours was like strength. Like all the games we did were like pretty much strength and technique. So yep. We got done, and they're like, all right, there's still one more thing. Like, you guys have worshipped him with your body physically, but now you've got to worship him with your mind. And we're like, oh, so we got to take a test of the principles. We're like, I was like, yes, like, I understood the principles so well. Like, I knew them like the back of my hand. I didn't know how to incorporate them, but I knew them. So we got our stuff. We headed back to the dorms, and then what did we do? Oh, okay, so we walked back over here. Kind of like talked to the team, and every team kind of decided what time they're going to wake up and all that stuff. And then went to the like little sanctuary area that they have that we've been meeting and took the test. And my team had so much fun taking it. Like we were all so slap happy that everything was funny. So I just love my team. Like we were all just, oh my gosh, like it was really fun. Like everyone else was trying to be serious, and we're like here cracking up because we're so slap happy, and we like kept making jokes about absolutely everything. So we got the test done, and we knew all the questions as a team. Like it worked really well because we knew every single question. And then we went to sleep. Fell asleep at 1:00. That's when I got up to my room and set my alarm for 4:00 in the morning. Got 3 hours of sleep. My body was so sore. I can't even explain to you. Laid down, passed out, woke up at 4, got myself together, grabbed my book bag and headed out. Met everyone downstairs. We were all pretty awake for being 4 in the morning. Headed out to the parking lot. That's where we started. And it was pitch black outside. We were all like really energized. So we were like, all right, here we go. Let's get this started. So at 4:30 we started. And we had a board, like a plank. It was really long. And we had a tire. And you had to put the plank, like here's a tire, here's a plank. You had to put the plank like through the tire and then carry that from station to station. There's 11 stations, and it was spread out all around campus. So we did that, and we went to our first station. There was 2 people, I basically didn't have to hold it because I'm so short. Like the 2 people that carried it had it on their shoulders, and like it was a lot higher than like where I was at, but everyone had to be touching it, so I just like held my hand on it. So we went from station to station, and our first station, it's 4:00 in the morning. It rained all night before, let's not forget, and we had to do an army crawl, but your body couldn't come off the ground, and if it did, you had to start all over. So literally was like dragging myself through the grass, like pulling the grass, make sure nothing came off the ground, like pulling myself. That was the first time I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like, I'm going to die. Like, this is so awful. But, like, everybody was so energized, and it was awesome. And, like, you got up and you were soaked. Like, you were drenched because the ground was so wet. But that just, like, got us motivated because we did it really quickly. And we were done when, like, the next team behind us was, like, starting. So we went to the second one, and we had to do free throws, and we had to do burpees. Well, whenever you're not doing a free throw, like, as a team, you had to do 15. Well, they started as a 15, but then they changed it to 5. Whenever you're not doing a free throw, which is, like, pretty much the whole time because only one person shoots at a time, you're doing burpees. You're doing 2. No, that's a lie. If your team misses a free throw, you do 2 burpees. So that was painful. That was awful. And it's still like pitch black outside. So we get to the next station, which is we had to do like ab stuff. No, I think we had to do jumping jacks first, 100 jumping jacks, and that wasn't hard. Then you did abs with a medicine ball, and like you had to do like frog abs or something. It was weird. And then we went to lunges, up and down a ramp. Then we went to like football. I call them football drills. I don't know what they're called, but it's where you like stand in place. Up downs. They're called up downs, and you stand in place, jog, hop down, or like drop down whenever they blow a whistle. Do a push up and then come back up and like run in place until they blow a whistle. And you had to do 20 of those, and then I feel like I'm missing a station somewhere in there. Skaters. I knew I was missing one. We did skaters, and it was there was this one station we went to, and like I don't even know how to explain skaters, but you had to do 20 of them, and then you had to hop over the wall, do 10 or 20 jumping jacks, hop back onto the other side of the wall, like back inside the area rink or whatever, and sprint to one side and the other, and then hop back over the freaking wall again. That one was tiring. So I mean, they were all tiring, but that one was really tiring. So then we went to the up downs, and then we went to the track. At this point, my body's like, there's no words to explain how bad it hurts. Like you can't stop that much pain. But my team's really positive. Like we were chanting on the way to like each one of them. Like we were just trying to keep the energy up. We were praying. We glorified God to our most today. Like not that we didn't yesterday, but like we were just trying to keep positive all the way through. So then we get to the track, and we knew, like, there was a paper with the rules that we got before, so we knew that we had to carry, half the team had to carry the other half on their back. We're like, all right, we have 3 guys and 3 girls. We'll just have all the guys carry us. And we have, like, Joe is, like, a wrestler, so he's kind of, like, short but really strong. And then we have Brandon, who's a volleyball player, so he's, like, taller and skinny. And then we have Shaq, who's a football player. So he's, like, Bill. And he's a quarterback. But I'm pretty sure he's a quarterback. So then we went, we got there, and they're like, you have to do a lap backwards. And we're like, okay. So I'm like, running backwards. I'm like, all right, this isn't even that bad. So then, I mean, it was tiring. Like, my body hurt, but I'm good at, like, I know how to run when I'm tired. So, and running backwards was weird, but it was okay. So then we get done, and they're like, all right, you guys have to carry each other on your back. But one person, like, you carry someone on your back, and then when you get to the 200 mark, you have to switch, and you have to carry them on your back. And I was like, I weigh 100 pounds, like 105 on a good day. And everyone on my team weighs from, like, 140 up. Like, this is going to be so hard. So the 2 girls carried each other. And then so I was left with 3 guys. So it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I was so terrified. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I ended up carrying Joe, the wrestler, and he was 160 pounds of pure muscle. And carried him on my back for 200 meters. Didn't drop him once. Didn't put him down once. Jogged the entire, like, literally, like, okay, jogging, like, it was the slowest jog I've ever done in my entire life. But we passed people. Like, I passed people while I had on my back. I got done, and I just wanted to fall. Like, I just wanted to collapse on the ground. But then I got on his back, and then he ran and finished it off for us. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. I think that was the moment when I realized we did a prayer after. We would do a prayer every so often at stations, and I did the one after that. We, like, regrouped after that one and did a prayer. And that was the first time I, like, teared up during a prayer since we got in here. Like, I teared up other areas of the camp, but, like, that was the first time that in my group, when I was with other people, I, like, teared up. And it was just because I understood, like, I was carrying a guy on my back, and it hurt, and I couldn't stand it, and it was only for 200 meters. God carried a cross, like, Jesus carried a cross. I don't know, like, that, like, hit me, and when I was praying, like, I don't know, it's like, kind of broke me a little bit, kind of touched me, and I was like, I can't believe it, like, that's amazing, that's painful, like, what the heck? So then after that, like, we went to, I'm pretty sure after that was the last challenge. We had to push a truck. 6 people pushing a truck was the easiest thing we've ever done. And it was like a Jeep, little red Jeep. It was so easy. So after that, we headed home, and we were done when the first group began. When the last group began, like 6:05. It was like 6:10, I think. Remember, we were finishing. So we had like 2-hour break before we had to be anywhere. So I showered. I cleaned the room a little bit, like packed my stuff up a little bit, and then headed and went to breakfast at 7. So good. I was so hungry. But we still couldn't eat very much because we still had another whole day of challenges to go. So, and then I took a nap on the ground. After breakfast, I just, like, collapsed on the ground. And I was like, I'm just going to lay in the sun for a little bit, and then knocked myself out. I didn't even know I was that tired. Like, I didn't feel sleepy. My body just felt exhausted. And I think because my body felt so exhausted, it made it really easy to fall asleep. Um, so then after breakfast, everybody headed out to the fields again at 8:15. We had to be out there. We started at 8:30. And they were like, they like yelled at us, like everyone was out there at 8:15. But 8:30, they're like, it's 8:32 and we still haven't started. Everyone go run with your team, one side back and go back there and or go to the end and back. And the first team to come back wins. And we're like, what? Like we're being punished. It wasn't even our fault. So we go back there, we go run back, and that was amazing. Like I don't even know how it was so like how my team was doing so good. We got third. I don't even know how. Like literally, like we were booking it, and we were so tired. And okay, you just gotta understand the level of exhaustion we were at this point. Like we've been going for like more than 12 hours. It was like 15 hours straight with 3 hours sleep in between. Like and barely any food. Like we're living off of whatever we had for breakfast. Like pancakes is what I had, and then granola bars. Like that's what we had. So then after that we started off with kickball and my team dominated. We killed at kickball. It was great. It was awesome. And then I don't even remember what we did after kickball. No, I think after kickball we did relays. Yeah. We played kickball for a really long time, I feel like. Um and okay, kickball, they did the rules. It was pretty fair. Like the first team to get to the station, because remember there's 10 stations, 20 teams, and there was rounds. So you play for about 5 minutes against another team. The first team to get to the station got to kick first. If you hit a foul ball, it's an out. Obviously, if you catch it, it's an out. 3 outs per team. And then if you're not, whenever you're batting, if your team is batting, if you're not the one up to kick, you have to be doing jumping jacks nonstop. Like you jumping jacks the entire time. I got to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to get to the stations first. I don't care if we don't kick. I want to stand in the outfield and do nothing. You just stand there. But it was good that we got to the stations. Like we sprinted to every station. We were so tired, but like we wanted to get there first because we knew it would be points. Like we knew it'd be good to get there first. So we could kick because that's how we got points. Like sometimes the other team never got to finish their kick, like their time of kicking because the horn would blow in between like their time of kicking. But we always got to kick the entire. Like we always got our full 3 outs. So then we went to relays after that, and basically they were just like more running, like sprinting back and forth. And at the end of relays, I realized I was really good at. I killed at those ones. Like I did so well. And the last one that we did, army crawl, we had to do army crawl for relays. I was not. My arm cramped up. Like it hurt so bad. I was not good at that. I went first because I knew I'd be the slowest. So I was like, let me get my over with. Like, let me be the slowest and be done. And then you guys can catch up, like, the slack that I had because I knew I was going to be bad. And then the very last relay, or maybe it was the second to last relay, what we did, like, one person would start, run from one side, back, grab a person. Those two would go over and back, grab another person, and that. So they made me be like, you do long distance, like, you're useless in doing stuff. And I was like, I run long distance at, like, a set pace, like a fast set pace, but it's a set pace. Not sprinting back and forth. It was the most tiring thing I've ever done. But, like, I still felt good. Like, it was awesome. Because I know how to do, like, I know how to keep going when I'm tired and when I'm running. After the relays, like, we did a little, we had to wait. Like, people went to the bathroom and we had to get on the buses and stuff. And I don't know, I had a little reflection time, I guess, and I realized that, like, this whole special is supposed to symbolize real life. And I realized that I know in real life, not and in the special, I knew how to glorify God in places where I was comfortable. Like in running, I knew how to glorify God. I knew how to love Him. I knew how to praise Him because I do it all the time. But in new situations, like playing basketball, tug of war, frisbee, I had no idea what I was doing. Not only did I not have any idea what I was doing there, but I had no idea how to put God into my life. So it was like, whenever I step into a new situation, I don't know how to thank God, or I don't know how to seek Him. Like, I don't know how to, like, ask for His help. So I realized that, I don't know, that was another, like, moment where I'm like, wow, like, how did that happen? How did I figure that out? Like, how did this camp let me figure that out? And I was happy. I was like, okay, like, now I know what I need to work on. Whenever I'm set into a new situation, I need to think of God first. I need to ask Him to, like, help me through that situation, because obviously I couldn't do it on my own. I definitely could not have done that on my own, and I didn't do it. I tried, and I failed. I was weak. I was down. So I learned that I need God in those areas where I'm new and I'm lost and I don't know what to do. So we got on the buses because we're headed for the mountains, and of course we're pumped. Like, here we go, mountains, here we come. And whenever we're there, I'm like nervous. Like, I love cross country. It's my favorite sport more than track. but I hate hills. Like those little hills that are in cross country courses. Like I want to like purposely hide in a bush and then come out and then the other side because I don't like them. I don't like going up hills. I know I'm not good at them. I know I just don't like them. I don't like the feeling of going up a hill. So we get to the mountains and we see the cones lined up. A lot of us is trying to go up, and we learned that if there's cones anywhere, that means that we're going to be doing something at that place because we learned that around campus and we saw random cones everywhere. So so we get to the mountains and then we're like the bus is like struggling to get up this hill and we're like, oh my gosh, like this is the mountain we've got to run up right now. So we get there and they like regroup us all. It's freezing and it's like sprinkling, but it's sunny. Don't understand how that happened. So we like they group us around this like rock in the middle. Like okay, there's a road. Like there's a road and there's cars coming. There's traffic still going. They didn't close the road off for us. And then there's like this area off to the side on the mountain where there's a rock in the middle and like we sat around it. All 150 of us plus staff and volunteers or interns. And Teg is the greatest speaker I've ever heard speak in my entire life. And he got up on the rock and got the megaphone and he was like talking. He's like, all right, just close your eyes for a minute and reflect. He's like, listen to what I have to say. So, excuse me, a little background. As we started the special, every time they like grouped us together and would read or we talked, they would read about Jesus' like the process of his crucifixion, like the Last Supper, whenever he asked his disciples to pray and they fell asleep on him, Jesus' betrayal, when Jesus went and prayed and asked God if there was another way, like anything else that he could do, when the devil tempted him, like we went through the special, we went through this like walk with Jesus pretty much, and we're on the mountain, our eyes are closed, everyone's kind of like in their own thing, and he starts reading about the crucifixion, how he like walked in and the Romans were like, the king is here, and he's on a donkey, and they're like, what the heck why is he on a donkey? Like he's a king, he should like, why is he coming in such like a poor, sad way? So they're like, you guys are saying Hosanna now, but later they were saying crucify him. And he went through and read, and the way he read it and the detail that he went into about the crucifixion broke my heart. I had lost control of my emotions at that moment, and I cried. Like listening to him say that he got like the way he was describing it, I felt like I was there. I felt like I was standing in front of Jesus as he's getting beaten, and knowing that I am like every time I sin, that's what I'm doing. Like I'm the one who's saying crucifying. I'm the one who's like spitting on him. I'm the one who's cussing at him and like being like, do it, like just like kill him. And like they talked about how they got whipped and he can see his organs, and like the way he was saying it broke my heart. I was like, it just broke my heart. Like one man went through all that for me. I'm just like, that is so sad. Like I was like so upset, and I was like, that's so sad. It just broke my heart that he did that. I was like, Jesus, that's so like you went through so much pain. That's so upsetting. So then they were like, all right, here we go. We're starting this. Like we're doing the mountain challenge right now, and it's the last one. Like this is the last thing we have to do. And they're like 2 people from your team go at a time. There's 6 people per team, and only 2 people go at a time. So I volunteered to go first. I was like, I just want to be done. Like I'm already terrified. I'm already terrified as it is to go on this hill. Like I don't like hills. I don't want to do this whatsoever. I'm exhausted. I can't feel anything in my body except pain, and I just cried, which makes me more tired. So I grabbed the board on the way down the hill because we were on top of the hill. On the way down the hill, you just had to grab it on your side. On the way up the hill, you had to put it on your back. So you grab this like board, wood plank looking thing about like the size of a little more than your shoulders, and went down the hill, took off. Like I'm going down the hill. I'm a cross country runner. Like going down the hill is super easy. Like I'm like in the front, like killing it. And then I see Mary Kate like come around me. And I'm like, oh, Mary Kate, like awesome. It was kind of cool, like going down the hill and being like, all right, this is like, I know how to do this. I know how to run when I'm tired. And just seeing her in front of me because I'm used to her being in front of me in like competitions and things and like practices. So it was like really neat to have her up there. And this is a time for like you and God. And I mean, mentally, I'm like, okay, it's like me and him, but it was cool just having her like in front of me. So it's like she's running. I see like we're at the end of the hill, longest hill I have like ever been on, like longest 800s of my life. And we get down, and I see Mary Kate put it on her back, and I'm like, here I go. Like, this is the point. Here we go. So I put it on my back, put my arms over it, and I start running up the hill. And I can feel myself, like, wanting, like, I'm just like, whenever I first put it on my back and I put my arms over it, like, I know I wanted to just, like, stop and cry. But I couldn't, like, because I was so exhausted, and I was like, I can't run and cry at the same time. I realized that in meet. So I realized it today as well, that I couldn't cry and run. But, like, the whole time I just prayed, and I'm just like, it was the most personal prayer, and I think most connected I've ever been with God in my entire life. I was just like, I'm doing this, and I'm in so much pain, but it's nothing. Like, this doesn't even compare to what he went through. I'm only carrying a wooden plank. Like, that's it. And he carried an entire cross for me. He got nailed on the cross for me. That's a lot of love. That's a lot. That's true, unending, unfailing love. Um, I I couldn't understand. I couldn't begin to get it. It was amazing. Like, I sprinted up that hill, and I know that it was 100% like the Holy Spirit taking over. And like, I think I got to the 400, maybe a little before, like the half mark, up the hill. Whenever like the guy that was standing there was like, he was like, "Come on, you're doing good." Like, he was like motivating me. And I'm like, I have people around me like pushing me and motivating me using the scripture and like the love of God and like reminding me, like trying to help me move on and keep going and keep me motivated. Jesus had the exact opposite, and he still kept going. I'm like, you didn't give up on me, so why am I giving? Why am I giving up? Why do I want to stop? Why do I want to walk? So I didn't. So I remember at the halfway point, I was just like, take me, like, take everything, like my physical, my emotional, everything that I've missed, like how broken I am right now in my life, how far I've been from you. Take it, like I'm doing no good with it. I can't be trusted with it right now. So you can take it, fix it, and then give it back to me. So that's the point where I was just like, I surrender. I'm done. I can't do it. I'm sorry, God. Like, forgive me. I'm broken, and I need you more than I've ever needed you in my entire life. And this is all like in my head as I'm going, like I'm praying, and I'm still running, like I'm sprinting up this hill as fast as I can. I don't know that I've ever ran that hard up a hill in my entire life. It's half a mile, like straight incline. So we're at the final stretch, and everyone's like standing there cheering or whatnot. Mary Kate gets done, walks in, and then I get done, and then I walk into like the little area we were at before we started the whole thing. I put my board down, and I'm just like, I turn the corner, and I see my leader, and Emily. I see Emily, not Emily. Her name's not Emily. It's Elizabeth. Such with an E. I see Elizabeth. She looks at me. She's like, "Hey." She's like, "How was it?" And like, she goes to hug me. I didn't even get a chance. Like, I meant to be like, it was so hard. Like, I meant to tell her, but honestly, like, God took over. I didn't get a chance to speak. I hugged her and cried. Hugged her and bawled. Like, I didn't have any words to say to her. I couldn't express how the Holy Spirit like taken over me and was just like, "You're okay. Like, I'm here. I've got you. You're loved. I've got you." And no matter how much I try to explain it, it'll never be enough to tell you or to be able to picture the intensity of that moment in my heart and like how I felt and just my emotions in that moment. So I hugged her for a really long time. Pretty sure I ruined her jacket with my snot. And then she was awesome. She's like kept hugging me and like kept getting tighter and just like held me. And then I as I was hugging her, I was just like, he loves me so much. I don't get it. Like, I am forgiven because of his love. I am forgiven. I'm forgiven. Like, it kills me every time. Like, I was so excited and so like hurt and broken at the same time. I'm like, he loves me so much, yes. But I'm such a, like, how did I think that I was going to live my life on my own? Like, how did I ever think I was going to do that? That's not even possible. So I just sat down. I got down on my knees. Like, I fell to my knees. I don't even know that I still have bruises on my knees from, like, I just fell. Like I couldn't even stand anymore, and just like prayed, and I was like, thank you, God. Like there's nothing else I can say or do right now than thank you for taking over my life and taking over my heart and just like showing me that I'm okay. Like you're here, you got me, you love me, and you did it all for me. You died on a cross for me. So overwhelming. It was overwhelming. So then after I hugged her, Mary Kate and I hugged and had our moment, and it was awesome to connect with her at a different level. Like I love her; she's like my sister, but it was different when you're at a spiritual connection than just a friend connection, a teammate. So I cried even harder there, just because that's the connection at a level that I don't know that I've ever been in with any teammate in my life. Um, so then after that, I just kind of walked off and went on my own and sat and prayed and cried some more. It's because I didn't know. I couldn't contain myself. Like I couldn't contain my emotions and how I was feeling and how amazing I was. I was overflowing with grace and love, and I didn't know how to handle it. So I just cried and thanked God and kind of had a moment there on my own. And then my roommate Lindsay came up and hugged me, put her arm around me, and I was just like, "He loves us, dude." And she's like, "So much." Sat down and we talked about it, and it was awesome to talk to her about it because she's amazing. She's so cool. Um, so we really connected there, and then kind of after that, we just everyone kind of talked about it. Like we saw everyone kind of just talked, and we watched other people finish, and everyone was like hugging each other, and it was really. I don't know that I've ever seen so many people break down in my entire life, and it was all because of the Holy Spirit. Like God was there on that mountain, being like, "I'm pulling all these layers off of you guys. You guys are going to start over. You guys are going to go home, new people. Like you're going to go home with a new spirit, a new heart, and you're going to use it for my glory." And I was like, "Yes, I am. I'm going to. I promise. I'm going to." And so then after everyone got done, and it kind of gave everybody their time to like reflect and get back to somewhat normal. Um, we all got together, got everyone like held hands, and then we prayed. And it was kind of like you shouted a word that you were thankful for. And I said forgiveness. No, I wanted to say forgiveness, but somebody said it before me, so I said his love, his unfailing, true love. And it was really cool because like everyone just kind of shouted out stuff at random times. And it was really awesome to hear. And then Tag read about the resurrection, how he came back to life after 3 days. Yay, because he conquered death. Um, so then after that, what did he do after that? I think after that we sang Amazing Grace. And that was awesome. And then after that I had so much energy. Like I was exhausted, but I didn't even like I just wanted to go run up the mountain again. I don't know if it was because I had a lot of energy so I could run, or if it was because I felt God's love and I like began to feel the Holy Spirit because of that mountain. So I'm like, I want to feel it again. Like I want to do it over again because it was so amazing. But after that, we had so much energy. But we got on the bus and we took a bunch of pictures, like so many pictures. And of course, I didn't have my camera or my phone, so everyone was like taking a million pictures. I'm like, okay, try to get in as many as I can, like trying to be in as many as possible because the view up there was unreal. Like God's creation is amazing. The mountains, the lake, everything was beautiful. So then we went to got on the bus, went straight to eat. No one showered. No one went back to their dorm. We went straight to lunch and pigged out. It was amazing. So then we came back. I slept through dinner. I called my mom, talked to her, tried to explain everything to her and how it was. Kind of broke down a little bit telling her the story because it was still fresh in my heart. And then I took a nap from like, I think it was like 2 to 7. Got up. We took a bus to, we changed clothes. I changed clothes. And then we got in a bus to the mountains again, had a bonfire out there, took more pictures, worship, did like a mini service type of thing. It was extremely fun. I woke up more sore than when I went to bed. So my body's like awful right now. We're all kind of like barely coping with moving. And then, I don't know, worship was different today because I have a new heart. Like I have a new perspective on life. Like nothing matters except God. Like that's, like nothing matters except my love for him and his love for me. And trying to get his love out to everybody else. Like, I don't know, it was awesome. And then after that, we got on the bus, headed back, and we've been here ever since, just kind of chilling, Probably gonna hit the hay. It's almost midnight here. Probably gonna go to sleep, and I'm probably gonna pass out again because my body's so tired. But yeah, today was like probably the most life-changing thing I've ever experienced. I've never felt so connected with God in my entire life. Um, I I don't know. It was awesome. His love is amazing. His love is never ending. I'm forgiven because He loves me, and nothing I do will ever compare to His love. Like no matter how much I love Him, it still doesn't compare to His love for me. So special was a good. It broke me down, which is what I needed. I needed it. I wanted to be redone, restart, new and fresh, and that's what I got. So I'm gonna go to sleep. Hopefully tomorrow. I don't know what we have tomorrow. I know we have no more physical activity. Thank God, because I don't know. I don't know what I would do with my body. But yeah, I'm very thankful for today and for what God is doing in my life and for what God is doing with those around me. So, gonna go to bed.